Hey tech lovers! Welcome to another exciting episode of FinTechs. You will be amazed to know that Nothing, the London-based technology brand, has officially announced the launch of its new CMF Phone 2 Pro alongside 3 new earbuds models, set to be unveiled on April 28, 2025, as reported by TechRadar and Android Authority. Nothing, the London-based technology brand, has officially announced the launch of its new CMF Phone 2 Pro alongside 3 new earbuds models, set to be unveiled on April 28, 2025, as reported by TechRadar and Android Authority. Let's see what our tech analysts think of this new launch by noting.
Welcome back to the deep dive. If you're keeping tabs on the latest phone tech, especially mobile cameras, you've probably heard the buzz around the CMF Phone 2 Pro. We know people are wondering, could this be the next phone for them? So today, we're doing a deep dive specifically into its camera system.
Yeah, that anticipated triple rear camera setup, it's a big part of the story.
Exactly. We want to unpack what those extra lenses might actually mean for your photos day to day and, how it might stack up.
Right, we've been looking at the early specs, some design hints, initial comparisons, trying to piece it all together.
So the main news is this jump from 2 cameras on the CMF Phone 1 to potentially 3 on the Pro model.
And not just 3, but in that kind of distinctive triangular layout we've seen hinted at. That's very Nothing, isn't it?
It is. It suggests they're really thinking about the camera module itself. So let's break down what those 3 might be. First, the main camera.
Yeah, sources suggest it'll likely stick with a solid 50-megapixel sensor, maybe an improved one. That's your workhorse.
Your go-to for most shots. Okay. Then, the big addition, the ultra-wide.
Definitely. That seems almost certain. It was like a really noticeable gap on the first phone.
Absolutely. If you've ever tried to get a big landscape or a group shot, you feel that limitation.
Exactly. So an ultra-wide, well, it just gives you much broader perspectives. Essential for travel, architecture, lots of things.
Opens up creative options, too.
Yeah.
Okay, and the third one, that's where it gets a bit fuzzier.
A little bit, yeah. Speculation points towards either a depth sensor, for better portrait mode bokeh.
Right, that background blur.
Or potentially a dedicated macro lens for getting really close up.
Interesting. So depth or macro. Either way, it adds another specific tool.
Precisely. The idea is more flexibility. A dedicated lens for wide shots, one for standard and one for, well, either portraits or close-ups.
And we saw that tagline, in search of the perfect shot. Seems to fit.
It does. It signals that camera performance is like a real focus area for them with this model.
Okay, so let's talk comparisons then. Listeners thinking about phones in sort of price range. How does this CMF setup potentially compete?
Well, the first advantage is just having that triple system itself. Versatility.
Because not all competitors offer an ultra-wide shot.
Exactly. Some might have 2 cameras, maybe a main and a depth, but skipping the ultra-wide. So offering main ultra-wide and a third sensor is a strong point.
Plus the design aspect, that triangle layout.
It's unique. It stands out. And with Nothing, design is never just an afterthought. It's part of the experience.
And we can't forget the software side. Nothing's shown they can do good software optimization on their main phones.
That's crucial. If they bring strong AI processing, better low light, good HDR, reliable portrait modes to the CMF line, that could elevate the whole experience.
Right. Megapixels aren't everything. It's how the image is processed.
Absolutely. So let's look at some names people might consider. The Realm Narzo 60 Pro.
Yeah, that one often boasts like 100 megapixels.
Right.
And an ultra-wide, too.
It does. So on paper, higher resolution. But the CMF could potentially compete with, say, better image processing or maybe larger pixels on its 50MP sensor for low light, and maybe a cleaner software feel.
Okay. What about Xiaomi? Like the Redmi Note 13 Pro, that often packs a huge 200MP sensor.
Yeah, huge numbers there, and often strong low-light performance. CMF likely won't match the raw megapixel count.
So where does it compete?
Again, potentially on the overall package, having that guaranteed ultra-wide versatility, the unique design, and maybe, just maybe, more refined software tuning.
And Samsung. Maybe Galaxy M series phone.
Samsung's usually reliable, yeah. But sometimes in this tier, you might only get 2 cameras. So the CMF's third lens, especially if it's a useful ultra-wide or macro, offers more shooting options.
Right, more tools in the toolbox.
Exactly.
What about Poco? Like the X5 Pro. That feels like a direct fight.
It really does. Poco often offers good specs, ultra-wide, sometimes macro, decent design. It's a strong competitor.
So how could CMF win that comparison?
It might come down to the finer points. Software polish, camera app experience, maybe slightly better image processing. Those could be the deciding factors.
Okay, so lots of potential. But there are always hurdles, especially in this price bracket. What are the potential weaknesses we should watch for?
Well, number one is often low light performance on that main sensor. Can it deliver clean shots when it gets dark? That's tough for budget phones.
Always a challenge. What else?
The quality of that ultra-wide. Sometimes cheaper ultra-wides are a bit soft or struggle with dynamic range, bright skies and dark shadows in the same shot.
Consistency matters. And the third sensor.
Yeah, is it actually useful? A really low-res macro can be gimmicky. A depth sensor needs to make a noticeable difference to portraits. It can't just be there to say triple camera.
Right, it needs to add real value.
Yeah.
So summing up this part, the CMF Phone 2 Pro looks like it's making a serious play with this triple camera.
Yeah, aiming for versatility, quality, wrapped in that unique nothing design.
But its actual success hinges on getting the software right and making the whole camera experience feel good to use.
Spot on. If they nail that integration, it could be very competitive.
So for everyone listening, the big takeaway, CMF is stepping up its camera game in this segment with this move to 3 lenses, more options, distinct style.
And it makes you think, doesn't it? When you're choosing a phone, what really matters most to you in a camera? Is it the raw megapixels?
Or is it having that ultra-wide flexibility?
Or maybe it's just trusting the software to get you a great shot easily, things to weigh up.
Definitely. Which leads to our final thought for you to chew on. As this tech keeps evolving, how do manufacturers strike that perfect balance, between chasing bigger megapixel numbers?
Yeah, and focusing on lens quality, the smarts of the software, and just the overall usability and satisfaction for everyday shooting.
Something to ponder. We'll leave it there for this deep dive.